In order to best assist you in understanding the different types of summaries between informational text and fiction and non-fictional stories, we wanted to cover some basics in this little tutorial. There are some basic fundamentals that need to be addressed. So the anatomy of summary includes: what are you talking about? What's the point of the entire summary? And don't leave it hanging. Make sure you conclude. So for informational text, take a moment to read this article. Writer of poetry in the macabre left this world under mysterious circumstances. You want to make sure you cite the text, and by citing the text, that means you need to include the author, the publication, which in this case is an article, the title, and the purpose of the article. Paraphrase each one of those main ideas, which is super simple in informational text because you want to look for the headings, and even if there are not headings, every paragraph is neatly confined into a main topic idea. And then conclude it with your own thoughts, your own opinions of the article or thoughts you might have on it. For further examples, click on the link below. So an example topic sentence. In the article, Writer of Poetry in the Macabre left this world under mysterious circumstances by Cynthia Blank Reid, she analyzes the centuries-old death of poet Edgar Allan Poe. An example of one of those body sentences from the main ideas would include: Poe's early life was filled with as much death and disease as writing, which was common for his era. It is likely no surprise to find he was also a heavy drinker. So if we put the entire summary together using those skills, this is what we come up with. In the article, Writer of Poetry in the Macabre left this world under mysterious circumstances by Cynthia Blank Reid. She analyzes the centuries-old death of poet Edgar Allan Poe. Poe's early life was filled with as much death and disease as writing, which was common for his era. It is likely no surprise to find that he was also a heavy drinker. Newspapers of the day reflected this by labeling the cause of death as brain or cerebral inflammation, which often referred to alcoholism. Medical records in the days leading to his death, however, observed erratic behaviors but no physical sign of alcohol in his system. This does not rule out alcoholism entirely, but leads to the possibility of any number of ailments, including rabies, neurological disease, brain tumor, cholera, or even a rare enzyme disorder. It has been 160 years since Poe's death. Even in our modern era, the death of the master of murderous mystery remains a mystery himself. For fiction and nonfiction, we want to use the same fundamental purposes. So, using the short story, The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, this is a video clip inspired by his original story. You want to first cite the text with the author, the type of publication, the title, and the author's purpose, as we did before. And in this case, it would look like: in the short story, inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's classic short story, The Telltale Heart by Annette Young, a murder unfolds through the eyes and thoughts of the murderer himself. 2, we want to paraphrase each main idea into 1 or 2 sentences. So click here for more main ideas in the story. And then finally, again, conclude with your own thoughts on the reading. So to find the main ideas in a short story, they tend to be a little harder to come by. We basically want to go through a plot diagram. So you want to include who the antagonist is, that main character who's going through the series of events, and what conflict starts those series of events. Then you're going to have your rising action. So first, the madman decided to kill his father. Second, he would go visit him at night, leading up to this suspense. Finally, killing the old man and burying him under the floor, for which the antagonist feels like the story is done. However, the beating heart starts to drive him crazy. And the final resolution of the story is that he is locked up in a psych ward. So, to put this together in a finished summary, in the short film inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's classic short story, The Telltale Heart by Annette Young, a murder unfolds through the eyes and thoughts of the murderer himself. Self-proclaimed sanity, driven crazy by the evil eye of his father, the unnamed murderer finds himself haunted relentlessly, ultimately deciding relief would only come by the death of his old man. He stalks him nightly until he finally commits the crime and buries the body beneath the floorboards. Unfortunately, the eye has been replaced by the haunting of the ghostly beating heart that echoes louder and louder beneath the wooden floor. In the paranoid schizo style characteristic of Poe, the murderer confesses to the police who lock him away in an asylum. The reader is left to determine, was he always mad or driven to be? I hope this helped. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you may email me below.